This is it, your CWL Stage 2 Playoffs Grand Final between EnVy and OpTic Gaming is upon us, and this is your G Fuel key player matchup between the two main ARs for these respective squads. And look at the numbers we've seen so far this weekend. Slasher has been lights out, especially in Search and Destroy. A big reason why, well really the reason why, EnVy have been able to make it this far in the Stage 2 playoffs. Formal, on the other hand, the clutch factor in that last series of Takedown United is also a big player in why his team has made it to this grand final. Can OpTic Gaming do the impossible and take two best of fives to become our Stage 2 champions? This has been your G Fuel key player matchup.
It is time for one of the greatest matchups in Call of Duty esports history. Team EnVyUs, OpTic Gaming, it's grand final time, baby.
I can't believe we're here. I can't believe what this day has been, what this weekend has been, Matt. To now be in this grand final with an EnVy team that plays top 24 at Anaheim, now top 2 in Stage 2. Here we go.
It's one of the more unlikely teams to make a grand final with OpTic Gaming, right? Nobody expected much from this EnVyUs roster, but EnVy, with this current roster, does give OpTic a lot of trouble, and I think it's really Apathy. You see Apathy getting off to a tough start. You know, a good start, 2-0, but Pristini gives OpTic a lot of trouble, same with a guy like Apathy.
You know, I talked with Krim and the guys. They did 3 days of scrims against EnVy. Krim said EnVy won like 4 maps over those 3 days. They dominated them in scrims leading into this. Curious to see if that carries into the live grand final atmosphere here.
Well, off the break, EnVy do have this more solid start. Apathy trying to see what he can do for this team off the respawn. You see JCap, the only one with a presence in middle map, has OpTic not only want to push for this hill, but they've got to begin to push for these back garage spawns. Apathy still shutting down this mid-map area.
Yeah, that's the key, right? It's EnVy in control of that cell block side of the map right now. OpTic Gaming needs to push all the way on through. We've heard them talk about it a lot, their struggles on breakout, and it's really because they just don't play for the spawns well. They just, on those rotations, they don't get there fast enough, and they don't pick up those important kills.
Well, I know at least coming out of week 4, it was a conversation amongst the team, some bonehead plays at times from Scum, from Formal, getting a little bit over-aggressive, kind of chasing the crosshair and not worrying as much about positioning. They were looking to remedy those issues. We'll see if they can do it here. But right now, EnVy holding inside. JCap gets all 4 as they push in. Cap, you gotta love it. Now he's 125 off streaks.
The man's had an abysmal weekend in respawns, finally got involved in the last series they played, and now against OpTic Gaming. He's looking lights out, near triple positive, 2 streaks already, and 1 kill off the 3rd.
And those streaks are huge going forward in the game. You can use the Trinity over on Commissary, Graveyard. You want to rotate over to cell block a little bit earlier, and maybe later you want to just use those streaks to break. Score streaks so important on breakout, and he's only 75 off the bombardment. He should definitely play for this. An easy kill mid-map there as JCap takes out Karma as EnVyUs taking a big lead.
Yeah, and I know they haven't been great in hardpoint this weekend, but they were in week 4. OpTic was the only team actually able to beat them in hardpoint. They were stellar. I believe they had 8 wins. They were going off. Now they look to be back in form here in game 1, and JCap fully streaked out.
And look, this is where the streaks come into play. EnVy finding some adversity, trying to push in towards this bulldozer. JCap will call it on in, force OpTic Gaming players to fall back from that cover. And now watch Apathy and John. They're going to surge forward. They're now the lead blockers as JCap watches over. A clean break from EnVy. It's exactly why these streaks are so important.
Well, this is why you can't give them up early, right? I mean, it's one thing to get streaks late in the game, but this early in it, you can do so much damage. You already had a big lead for EnVy. They're just looking to continue pounding away. 20 seconds remaining. EnVy holding. The only good thing for OpTic is you have the helipad spawn right now for Commissary.
And we talked about how great Slasher has been so far this weekend, but earlier in their series against C United, in the last map, I believe it was Frost Uplink, you really saw Apathy, John, and JCap start to come to life. And right now, I mean, Slasher got him here, but the other 3 are starting to play very good.
It was basically 2 days of Slasher just holding the team on his back, and then finally, once they get to day 3, everyone's like, okay, we're good, we're warmed up now, we're ready to shoot straight. It's what they've done so far today. It's how they have been off the break of this map. OpTic still down by about 50 seconds, but with all this time left on commissary, these first 3 hills, Maven, could basically be wiped out if OpTic get a full 60.
Yeah, I mean, we say it all the time, but there are gigantic swings very easily and very quickly on breakout. You can sync together several. Karma trying to make plays. Now the other part of those streaks coming in for Cap, and that's going to be the break in the commissary. So 2 early setups in Grave and in commissary for OpTic, broken by streaks.
Well, you think if EnVy doesn't have those streaks, OpTic could potentially take the last 30 or so seconds up this hill, and we're looking at a tie game going into the second half. So you just see the effects that streaks have here on breakout.
OpTic setting up for middle. They're not going to charge for this last 10 seconds. No way they're going to get across that wall run. Changes you need to see OpTic make here. 1, you can't let people get streaks like JCap did. You got to wind up stopping them, matching that slang a little bit better. 2, win some of these kills on rotation. They lost the rotation battle towards Grave. They lost the rotation battle towards Cell Block. If they can improve that here, I think that's their chance to come back.
Yeah, we've seen EnVy. You know, a lot of their guys, you know, they may not have the prettiest KDs or prettiest stats, but some of those key rotational gunfights, you know, key kills, you know, I can think of so many times. Slasher, you know, 2v4 with, you know, either John or Apathy staying alive near a hill, able to wipe out the remaining other team. Just those key kills, those clutch kills, EnVy has gone and all their way this weekend.
I'll tell you what, right now, OpTic enjoying one of their better hardpoint holds at the central rooftop. It's Karma wrapping out towards Shower, seeing if he can spot one.
Oh, look at this.
Hit the lower wall run. He's got one right next to him. They're running parallel through Showers. As his teammates get killed, they're like, Karma, where were you?
Yeah, that was just an awful timing for both players. Neither of them spot it, but because of the scenario they were in, it actually works out better for EnVy. Again, you talk about that big hold. That'll be a 25-second swing back over to EnVy. Their lead right at about 50, but this is a setup OpTic Gaming didn't get the first time around, where EnVy were able to establish their big 50-second lead.
Yeah, JCap loses that fight to Scump, and somebody else picks up Apathy, who's coming through the middle. So that's going to allow OpTic to hold this hill at the beginning. You see Scump informal rotating out towards the back. They're just trying to figure out where EnVy's coming from right now. EnVy playing this a little bit slow, but look, they spawned Karma out over on that wall run. This is where EnVy can attack.
Yeah, but OpTic will know because of where Karma just spawned that EnVy have to all be flooding from this backside or through this side door. It's why they've fully focused their attention here, Maven.
Well, Formal is going to get 2 big ones inside as he continues trying to hold. Karma grabs the last. OpTic still holding inside a cell block and bouncing right back into this game. It'll almost be an exact tie if they get the final moments going off right now. Scump starting to really heat up, 16 and 13, leading all Slayers in the game. Incredible stuff.
He's just been consistent this entire weekend. I mean, he's the guy on OpTic Gaming that you know is just going to put up the numbers he needs to, and it's got to be great to see, especially if you're an OpTic Gaming fan, as you can't say that was the way Scump was earlier this year. Don't count them out yet. The lead has just changed. OpTic Gaming now tied back up.
It's 2 big kills for Slasher, though, as OpTic's trying to get close towards that hard point. Be Scump grabbing one, Crim with another. They need to get on the pinch now. They need to go fast. You see both players from OpTic Gaming on this side of the map. They need to just converge on the hill.
Well, it ends up being split spawns kind of for both teams, right? They're collapsing on each other right now. Slasher, though, 3 kills for EnVy.
That was absolutely brilliant from EnVy right there. They spotted that their 2 teammates spawned at Garage, and they knew there were 2 OpTic Gaming players coming from Spiral. Once that happens, EnVy's about to get pinched into a 4-on-2. How do you wind up keeping yourself with an opportunity to hold that hill? You have to flood out that back cave, win the 2-on-2 gunfight. They do with the help of John, and because of that, EnVy will get the time.
We've been talking about Slasher. He just picked up 3 kills in a row before ultimately falling. Lead back up to 20 now for EnVy. And once again, just like the first time through, a lot of time here in Graveyard for EnVy. OpTic enjoys the spawns there at Helipad for Commissary. Can they turn this into more points with a double scare up attack?
Well, this time now, EnVy doesn't have the streaks, right? So OpTic got there the first time on Commissary. They got broken because of the streaks from EnVyUs, but a big win there from Slasher. How many times have we said that during an EnVy match this weekend? 1 more kill here for Slasher. It's on a 2 streak, working in towards the hill. The guy's been a man on a mission.
Look what he just did. He just winds up pushing in for those spawns by himself. He's got some help from JCap near this hill, but EnVy look like they're going to outmuscle OpTic Gaming. And Crim wins that one-on-one gunfight, but either way, the damage is done. EnVy, with the help of Slasher fighting for those back spawns, get a clean break on Commissary.
And him getting those kills in the back, the reason that they're able to collapse, hit from 2 spots there and take over Commissary. About to crack the 200-point mark is EnVy. JCap still cruising, covering here.
And I think the 2 players you look at for their respective teams here, JCap and Karma, you just look at those 2 players. They can't hurt you in one of these games. Right now, Karma's having a rough one, 9 and 17. He's been great in search and destroy. Needs to just play about even in the respawn to give OpTic a chance.
Well, let's see if JCap can get in behind. Not going to get it done from top window. Be Formal taking him out. This is where OpTic started to come back in last time, right? They dominated mid-map for the central rooftop until the final 20 or so seconds. A flawless hold, exactly what they need. Maybe somebody to start going off, pick up some streaks for this team so they can answer what JCap did to them early.
And you can see OpTic, they're putting so much pressure on the shower side. They're just trying to protect Formal in and around that hard point. A pinch now coming in from JCap. It's read by OG. There's 3 kills. No, Slasher just guns Scum.
Slasher continues
Oh
to dominate,
God.
gets all 3 inside. 4th there, Karma just lives, but it will be traded quickly by Apathy. 25 seconds remaining now, Matt.
Yeah, and if you're Envy, you don't even need to worry about cell block. This is a perfect position where they can take a lot of this time. OpTic Gaming is pretty much forced towards mid-map. You can just pick up one wave of kills and then just push on through, and you're golden if you're Envy.
They are completely controlling the final half of this central hard point. As John falls, the race now over to cell block. OpTic Gaming going to be set up nicely inside. We've seen so many comebacks on this map. Will this be one of the more heroic efforts we've seen throughout 2017?
It sure as hell's going to have to be. OpTic
Yeah.
now down by 70. It's the biggest lead of the game for the boys in blue. I mean, Matt, if you're Envy right here, how many chances do you even give this? Because you don't want to feed OpTic streaks.
Well, that's the thing, right? I mean, you don't want to give up a ton of time. Obviously, the game gets very close going into Grave. More importantly, you don't want to give streaks to anyone on the side of OpTic Gaming. You give up streaks, then you put yourself in a great position to get came back on. I think that's what's important for Envy. I think you look, you maybe 30 seconds left, you get maybe 2 more cracks at this at best, but looks like Envy, so Envy actually invests the camo into that.
And
Slasher camo
it's
is
a
a team kill.
Oh my God, is that the chance OpTic Gaming need here? They'll be just over 220. What a disastrous play for Envy.
I want to make sure everyone understands and recognizes what just happened. They camoed the wall run. They were going to use that to break on into that hard point. As now Formal's trying to stay alive, gets both. And OpTic are on rotation. They've got 2 bodies here.
JCap, though, seems to have slipped.
No, there's a
between
pinch.
The
No,
call
there's
to
a
command. He's in from behind. JCap is gone. OpTic Gaming can do this. 236 to 216.
No camo, no more streaks. OpTic just have to hold 2 waves of Envy pushes to win this map.
Well, it depends. I mean, with the way Envy is going right now, it's going to be a very long flank here. It may only need to be 1 as JCap and Slasher, 2 huge kills. But it's going to be Scump and Karma trying to hold on here for OG.
Scump pops a reactive armor. Karma, Scump, they kill all 4. 1 more push now for Team EnVyUs. Can they break in? Formal finds 2, but come back alive and well.
The clutch factor from OpTic Gaming is still here. The lead now gone. The hopes of Envy disappearing. What a collapse! OpTic Gaming take map number 1.
If we've learned anything on Breakout, it is never, ever over. What a valiant comeback there from OpTic Gaming as they take game 1. That was incredible.
And we talked about how Slasher has been a positive voice for his team throughout the weekend. I imagine he is not saying some positive things right now. You cannot, I mean, you invest the camo, you have the Scarab there in that situation, you got to get something for it. A team kill comes in, you don't have it on that final hill. I mean, imagine they have camo on that pinch. When Cap and Slasher both pick up a kill apiece, they have camo there, that's a break.
Well, it's 2 things that stand out. I think it's the camo play, obviously, with the team kill, and then you have a 4v2 at the end there. Scump and Karma just go God mode.
There was 3 moments. Not only that, not only Scarab, but then even Formal's 1v2 2-piece that he gets. That helps not only get those kills, but then forces that awkward spawn for those 2 members. That gives OpTic a chance to have the numbers at the new hardpoint.
Well, the game reminds me a lot of that FaZe versus Rise Nation game that we had.
Yep.
I know back to qualify, because you remember, I think, Formal actually inside a cell block, 2 players challenged for the garbage time. He gets that 2-piece. I believe it was Attach who got the 2-piece for FaZe in that match. And, then there's no players on rotation. You have control for OpTic over at Grave, and it just sets you up for success. 2 big kills there from Cormal.
I mean, Scump tweeted it right after that series versus United. He said, clutch factor, and apparently it's now continued. Here's a replay at the end of that map. So we talk about this 4v2, right? Look, you get the entry kill from JCap right here. Already now they have a 2-man pinch on both sides. Slasher with the second. You think, how do they win this? Scump pops a reactive armor, handles his 2 guys. Karma handles his 2 guys. They both win 1-on-2s to hold that hard point. If they lose that, the game is over.
Well, that's the craziest thing about it, is that the kills from Envy, they happen on both sides, right? One happens on Cave side, and one happens by the Spiral Stairs. So it's not like they could just pick one way and focus on it and then kind of turn around. They had to split up. So those 2 players went huge.
And then Formal pops and kills 2 more. I mean, I'll be honest, I thought when those 2 players dropped for OpTic, it was done. I thought it was game over for sure.
Shout out.
You saw the collapse happening on the minimap, but if there's been one thing that OpTic Gaming has been throughout the course of the weekend, it is clutch. Add 1 more to the list.
I mean, now are we going into the search and destroy with 2 of the better S&D teams? of this weekend, if not the two best that we're about to see between OpTic Gaming and EnVy. Don't even know how to call it. Their numbers have been nuts. This has been the one strength continually throughout this entire weekend for EnVy.
Slasher had what, a 2.2?
2.3.
2.3
Yeah.
KD in search. That's stupid. That doesn't even make sense. You don't see that ever out of a player, especially towards the end of the weekend. Maybe after day one or something like that we've seen it, but not at this point.
And it's a big map for EnVy. They're going to need Slasher to step up, going into this one. He's been fantastic all weekend, but these series sometimes in the grand finals, when you have a team that's down, they just play a series, they win that one, they come in. Those first series go by pretty quick sometimes. I think if you see OpTic Gaming take map number 2, would not be shocked if they take map number 3 and we go right into a second best of 5.
Not sure if EnVy wound up watching that last series, but this is the map that OpTic Gaming just won against United in Game 5. Retaliation, Search and Destroy. Don't know if EnVy will be able to kind of pick any things that they can note from that map, but either way, we know OG can clutch up here. Can they keep this momentum in their favor?
And remember, we talked about the fact this is the same matchup. If you're talking about the event before Champs in 2016, it was OpTic versus EnVy at Orlando, but it was a different scenario, right? Last time it was EnVy battling out of the losers bracket. They pushed it to a second best of 5. Now it's OpTic Gaming's turn to return the favor. It's incredible to see these same 8 players matching up at this spot in the year, a full year later.
I will say, OpTic has gone clutch all day long, but you don't want it to consistently come down and making those clutch plays. I mean, sometimes they're just not going to go in your favor.
Here we go. Game number 2, as OpTic somehow win map 1 after being down by 70 seconds. Number 6 has found an open hole. Unfortunately, gives away his position without getting first blood.
Well, Formal connecting there with the snipe for the first blood. Cap tag, position given away. Karma, I think only gets a bullet in him there. Cap some nice shots on the scump up top as well. It is a 3 versus 3.
Well, now they have the information. They know two players in market. They had no idea where Krim was coming from. So now they know where all 3 players on OpTic Gaming are. Apathy trying to locate Krim.
How is Krim still
He
alive?
went underneath. I have no clue.
How is Krim alive? And he got a kill.
Apathy just spazzed out right there. Looked so frantic and panicked. Slasher should be dead here momentarily. Krim
just shook him out of their shoes, man.
Lives through it all and gets the final 2 kills.
That was special, man. Just playing with his food. Krim ends up getting, 3 in the round. Phenomenal plays.
This has just been insane. This whole weekend has just been nuts. Between what yesterday was with the four underdog series stories that we talked about, what today has been EnVy is somehow in a grand final, which surprised everybody. Now to be at this, I'm just smiling.
I love Call of Duty.
I love you.
I love it. I love both of you.
He is all right.
Sums it up.
This is shaping up to be one phenomenal grand final. If the rest of the maps are anything like that first one, another advantage here for OpTic Gaming. 3 versus 2. It's going to be just Cap and Apathy available for Team EnVyUs.
Look at this. No hesitation from Karma. Yeah. They know the final 2 players are in bike path. He sprints right towards that A-bomb, plants it for the safe side, and now they can play off.
I was going to say, planting it for the safe side. We've seen so many people just go to the opposite side over by Cathedral and try and get it down. Not cleared out. Apathy.
Is Apathy good?
Another fight against Apathy at close range.
Krim is just destroying Apathy right now in game 2. That was MV4, right?
Yep.
Apathy needs to regain for a second here. That's 2 gunfights that he should have won.
I think EnVy as a whole
times.
Yeah, needs to regain a little bit.
Tell you what, I don't know who is winning this series, but I definitely think we're winning the grand final, but I definitely think we're seeing 2 best of 5s tonight.
Yeah, we said that right at the start of the
Yeah, it's just, I don't know who's taking it at the end.
When you've got OpTic and LG in your
2.
losers bracket, we know once either of those teams gets firing, no matter who made it on through, they would probably put up a great fight in the finals to force a second best of 5.
First blood for J-Cap. He's traded out instantly. Back and forth we go until it's just Formal by himself. He's in a 1 versus 3. We know he makes these series, or these positions very winnable for himself. Gets Apathy to 1 shot. Oh my God, you can't let him do this to you. But how many times this weekend have we seen him in 1v2s, 1v3s? Even if he doesn't win them, he turns into a 1v1 all the time.
For a second, I thought Apathy was going to jump in the window, maybe try and challenge there with Slasher. Would have hated that play, but backs down, plays his life. Now we'll see if EnVy can try and go down, get bombed down. They don't need to. Apathy able to take out Formal inside of the hotel. get EnVy on the board.
I actually really like that positioning. All you had was Apathy basically just spinning around this column. How many times this weekend have we seen a player with that fast movement, sliding around, dashing? All he's trying to do there is spot Formal and just stay alive. He can dash behind that column, play his life. His teammate Slasher was just jumping up and down on Plat, bobbing his head out, peeking the bomb. There was no opportunity where, unless Formal hit the 4 greatest shots of his life, where either of them would have died without a chance for a teammate to react.
All right, well, EnVy getting around on the board. Watching Karma or Bomb Carrier will swap over to Crim6 out at the bridge, watching if anyone pushes through on the long flank. He spots one and tags him up for now. I think he backed up both players there from EnVy. It's going to be a quick plant now for OpTic.
Oh, timing works out perfect before John peeks from top bedroom.
2 players challenging Formal, make it 3 players. They push him out. Karma answers back with a 2-piece of his own, but suddenly it's Krim by his lonesome, turns it into a 1v1. Catches Slasher, float mid-map, spots John has to find the kill.
He knows Krim has to check this bomb. It's the point Krim sees him again. So smart from Crim6. He's gonna keep playing his time. Gonna keep playing this time down. He knows he doesn't have to check quite yet. Now there's no time. Krim's gonna win the round. 1 versus 2. Mind games at the end there as well.
He might have got a little fortunate. How much was left? 12 seconds? If he hits him, lines him up there with the ERAD, you think he had time to get back? Like that time he worked out real well for Krim, at least when he turned.
It may have been close, but I think it's just a really smart play by Krim.
He
really liked the way he played that round.
He certainly played it well. I'm just curious if John got that kill, if he could have actually gotten back to bomb.
Matt, what does EnVy need to change right now? What's going wrong for him?
Well, when you saw them struggle during their search and destroys during their group week, it was really kind of like LG, where they just played a little bit spread out, nobody really close to each other. And the round that they won, they hit things pretty quick, and they just won the gunfight. So I think you'd like to see EnVy, instead of trying to play for these first bloods from far away, which clearly is not their strength, get a little bit more aggressive.
Krim continues to dominate. He's 7-1 now, tagged up, but gets away with his life as he almost takes out Slasher. Apathy playing behind the van. Knows he's got Scump backed up there on market steps. EnVy trying to fight in yet another 2v3.
Slasher's got 1, evening the odds. Second one on a Crim6, bye-bye. And Apathy spots Scump, can't get the kill. Scump will live to see another day.
He killed Krim so fast. He jumped up, targeted him right on scaffolding.
Slasher's been just a pleasure to watch.
If you were to define Slasher's weekend in one play, that would be it. But now it's going to be Scump making it a 1v1.
Oh my God. Okay.
A little nervous for a second.
From some of the rounds we saw earlier from Apathy, that was unnecessarily stressful. Here it is again, lands right behind this cover. Beautiful movement. No shot there for Scump. So EnVy will keep this within 1 round.
Apathy looking to bounce back after a slow start in this one. All right, Crim6, he's been your lead man. 7-2. And we talked about him being kind of the catalyst, the guy that has to play well if OpTic Gaming is going to have a chance this weekend.
Look at how little health he has. Was that a sniper? Yes, it was. I was like, that is a powerful NV4.
Yeah, we've seen John with the sniper for EnVy throughout the weekend. He's been very effective getting first blood. So in a few rounds where EnVy's losing first bloods at the beginning, you pull the sniper out, maybe you're able to get something.
John might see one. Nice shoulder peek though from Scump, so he doesn't get peeled. Still a 1 round lead for OpTic Gaming. 4 up for either side here. Krim's had a couple first bloods to his name. I don't think you want to peek this hallway. It's JCap though, finding his second. Formal answers right back. Apathy now inside a bedroom, trying to keep people at bay.
And look at where Scump is on the map. Oh, nice shot. Second player there as well with the pistol, gets the kill.
No. That's not allowed. That's not allowed.
Look at this. It looked like you thought there was more help. No, he hit 4 pistol shots. John, disgusting.
Wow.
Let him snipe. Fine, if he's going to get kills like that with the pistol, it's like having a normal weapon anyway.
That's MVP John right there. Big play by John. Now we're going to be tied up at 3 rounds apiece. He's got his FTL as well, and he's going to keep the sniper out.
Doesn't connect this time around, but he's getting a ton of information for his team. Formal keeps his head out there for a little bit longer. And That wouldn't have gone in his favor. Nice grenade from Crimsix, though. Apathy now dead.
Yeah, you see Crim drawing first blood with the nade. Now we'll see if EnVy can make their way down towards the site. It'll be JCap jumping up on top plat. Trying to get this good position here as Slasher sees one up in market. Scump just shoulder peeks a little bit and now backs down. They're going to try and bait this out. Maybe John can get something with the sniper rifle. It does not work out.
That was a desperation type play. You never really see a sniper try to push forward through arches. Player still here all by himself as Slasher. Cut down. Nice trades by OpTic Gaming.
I think was there a team kill maybe on the cross where he was trying to push through? Almost became a dangerous one-on-one, but they're able to take it. Yeah, he shoots him in the foot as he goes by, so almost got scary for just a second.
But Formal does finish the kill off. Another round where OpTic gets first blood. They're able to close out. It's been so big in search and destroy. Who can get these first bloods? Close the rounds out.
Moving forward now, EnVy still in this game. Absolutely still possible to win. They just need to chain together some of these rounds. Formal the first one, pushing towards his top flat side alongside Karma. Karma did his pre-fire. No dice there, though, on the first kill.
Karma waiting patiently inside.
And
peek for a second there.
They're bringing out their throwback strat. Let Crim make the play. Look, all the way on your mini-map, Crimsix now behind. Will EnVy expect this at all? He's got to try to trail this. This could not be working out better for EnVy.
Well, you've heard Teep talk about it on the desk.
Oh,
this is where Crim really excels in S&D, where he kind of just finds a spot, tries to make a play. Now he's going to end up behind the player's jack, so it's actually working out quite well for OpTic.
Yeah, yes, the elusive double flank. The elusive, I flanked you once, you're going to flank my teammates, and now I'll flank you again.
See the final kill here from Crimsix. Taking out Cap. 1 round away. Crim has been just spectacular here in game 2. What stood out the most for you, Matt, though, about Crim just overall this weekend? I think he's been stellar.
Well, I think he's been pretty good towards the second half of the year. It's just the team hasn't had success. It just seems like, you know, when Crim starts to play good, and maybe you get an off game from Formal or Scump, and you're dropping some hard points you shouldn't have. But I actually think I've been pretty impressed with Crim's gameplay throughout the entire year. As you see, John gets 2 kills here for EnVy. Scump trying to hold on to the site. He should fall, and this should be a round that EnVyUs takes.
Formal sees everyone on EnVy. Have to reposition. Not going to happen there. EnVy keeping it close. This has been the story of this entire map.
Back and forth we go. Looking eerily similar to that game 1. All we can hope is that the entire series plays out this tight. Nice shots there from Slasher. He combines with Cap to get the final kill.
What type of payloads are we going to be working with in this next round? I know Crim has a Centurion. Is there camo yet for either team?
I'll have to check Slasher and Karma. So Slasher does have camo. You think with this being game point for OpTic, you invest the camo into this round if you're EnVy? Obviously, you need to win this round, unless you get first blood.
I think it's going to happen right now. Scump knows one's close. John now dead. They've got to use something to swing this round if you're EnVy. Apathy gets caught mantling. Scump knows it, wins the gunfight. Slasher all by himself.
Had to pop the camo. Can he clutch up now in the 1 versus 3? Reactive pop, reactive flying, reactive. I thought burned for a second, but Scump finishes it. 2-0 advantage now for OpTic Gaming.
That round was weird from EnVy. I mean, I thought Slasher would use it early on. Try to make it possible for his team to really take that round, but instead, he just uses it after his whole team's dead.
I did as well, Jack. I think in a round like that, I would have liked to see him use the camo as the first person to just initiate and get first blood on your side, then try and trade it out. But I believe 2 players dropped before they even had a chance to use the camo.
Apathy really needed help there on that outer wall run. You could see Scump had all the time in the day to keep re-peeking, keep challenging. I guess at that moment, it's tough to tell for Slasher, but if you see that many people at bridge from OpTic, you've just got to make a play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, when you take a look at this, like, do you think OpTic, do they need a 3-0? Is this similar to an open bracket in the sense you played so many matches you might burn out towards the end? Or seeing that this is just the 8th best team, you've only had to win a couple, you feel pretty good about it, Matt?
No, not at all. They don't need a 3-0 here. It's been a short day. They should be fine, just overall energy-wise.
All right, well, Uplink coming up next. OpTic looking to push this to another 5-game series. We'll be right back. OpTic Gaming are up 2-0 behind a great performance there from Crim6 in the Search and Destroy.
He always just struggling with words.
Yeah, typical.
We should be good though. Uplink Precinct next, and woo, this is a good map draw for OpTic Gaming now.
Yeah, I think OpTic, this is a great uplink map for them. You look on a series like this, the way it's going, they're rolling right now. I think EnVy, they need to win. I thought they needed to win in the Search and Destroy, to be honest, to stop a 3-0. I think when you have this first series, you need to just draw it out as long as possible. You need to get your guns firing hot, because it's hard for EnVy, because they've just been sitting in the back, probably warming up, shooting bots. Not the same as coming out here and playing.
What, Precinct, right?
Yep.
So this is, I think you could argue it's the best map and mode for OpTic Gaming out of the entire map pool. They are very, very good here. They've only lost it a handful of times since Dallas. I expect them to close this first series out here.
Extremely important to bring up OpTic Gaming, coming into this one, this is a team that you're confident in, but they also only need to win one more map to force a second best of 5. EnVy need just to, well, hopefully win one best of 5. OpTic, though, on the verge of resetting the bracket. That's a tough thing coming from that loser's side. They're about to make it happen if they can take this uplink here.
About to hop into it. And this would be, God, I mean, I just love the going back to last year and thinking about how many times we've seen this actual matchup. EnVy, the bane of OpTic's existence kind of last year, even at the beginning of this year, giving them struggles as well. I know through the middle of this year, OpTic Gaming got into that dominant form, won 22 series in a row at one point? Or 22 maps in a row. 22 series would be real good. But 22 maps in a row. Now looking to be back into that form. As we're a week and a half away from champs.
It's also interesting that these are two rosters, the only two off the top of my head, that stick it out from last champs. Come all the way here through the year.
FaZe was the only other one until recently, right?
Right, until recently. They make the change, but seen everybody else shuffle around players, make new rosters, and we are in the same exact spot we were last year before champs.
All right, let's see, EnVy. Can you fight back and get the reverse sweep to close out Stage 2 right now, or will we reset the bracket and start all over with another best of 5?
What would be crazier, OpTic, taking this series and then taking the next series, or EnVy reverse sweeping them here? EnVy reverse sweeping OpTic in this series would, for me, that would just be mind-blowing with the way it's gone so far.
Yeah, right. Up to this point, I can't believe that.
But this weekend has been mind-blowing as a whole.
I just do with the form OpTic is in, the hype coming out of that last series where they won in the game 5. I just feel like if they 3-0 here, they may 6-0. And when else have we seen that? What, Epsilon over Splice?
I don't know if that was 3-0-3-1. Cole,
3-0-3-0.
Cole, EnVy, UMG, Niagara, Ghost was a double 3-0. It's kind of rare.
Well, Prim tosses a nade right into Scump's back pocket.
That's a typical break on this map. If you're spawning from that side, EnVy were on, two players are going to try to hit through ATM, so you pre-nade it and pre-fire it. That time it works out for Apathy, and because of that, they get quick lobby control.
Let's see if they can turn this control into points. It's going to be JCap at the back with a drone. John snapping out front. He's gotten 2. Third lined up but not finished. Doesn't want the 1-point toss. He relies on Apathy and Slash here to back him up. Early dunk for EnVy.
Wow, couple shots into Formal. The nade lands right at his feet, and now EnVy, they're going for the relay. They have a player already here.
Yeah, this may be more points for EnVy. Apathy in the OpTic base. He gets a pass, gets it up and in for 2. As EnVy has come out, put 4 points on the board early.
That's unbelievable. I mean, I know they had a start like this on a Frost we casted in week 4, but this is ridiculous. 4-0 in 60 seconds. Can OpTic Gaming start to answer back a little bit and kind of slow the tide that is EnVy right now?
Yeah, that was basically a minute straight of OpTic just really trying to hold on to their base. Finally, they gain back some momentum. They can fight for some control of EnVy's base now, looking to match these dunks.
They've got the drone into Ticket. Krem just trying to get drone down and find some kills here so he can make a play. Gets one, he's got help from Scump. Now they decide to go, gets the 1-pointer away, and Scump still clearing house here outside the base. Finally, John off spawn, back alley. We'll kind of get a reset.
The big 1v1 win there by John. He doesn't win that against Scump. The rest of his teammates coming up the spawn, they have to rotate back, clear out their base. It allows them, once John wins the 1v1, to go out towards gas, now get back towards mid-map.
John will fall. JCap trying to hold the back line, though. See drone down right in front of him. Scare-about as well to maybe soften somebody up a little bit for Cap, but he can't take out Krim there, set up by Statue. And inside the lobby is going to be Scump. He's grabbed the drone. They're starting to wrap it out. John trying to get the flank in from behind and does just that.
And he's thinking someone might still be pinching. But no, everyone's still on this back park side. 3 straight kills for OG, make it 4. JCap only able to trade one. Karma, Scump, and Formal now on the offensive. They've got some lead blockers. Fortunately, an awful timing, but the one still does go through.
Yeah, they're able to get a 1-point play there. They just don't have enough players up to really try and spawn trap and get that good relay going. But Krim, off spawn, gets drone.
How is he alive?
Construction. Don't really know. Apathy with some shots there, and Krim's back finally takes him out. But 3 kills for Envy. Let's see what they decide to do with the drone. See, Scump picks up 1, and okay, for a second there, I was sure they were going to wrap it all the way back out because they didn't think they have the man advantage, but they throw it down, trying to push it forward. It does not work out.
Hey, and OpTic, they're able to just grab it and move it towards Statue. And there's a light setup here for Envy. They have not had players in the position they want quite yet. Look at how active OG are with the drone on the map. They just keep trying to throw Envy off. You can even tell Karma doesn't even know where he wants to go.
Well, this is how FaZe played the other day on Precinct Uplink. They just moved the drone around, got the defensive side just so spread out, they were able to get some nice scores. COG trying to do a similar strategy as now they have the drone in a position mid-street to make a play.
If they can take out John here, you've got a nice opening up mid-street. Karma able to win the gunfight, but 2 teammates dropping at the same time. A lot of pressure still on Karma, but he is up to the order. 3 for him. Can't get the slide away in time. Scump gets there maybe a second late. Otherwise, they can get together and put some more points on the board.
Yeah.
But
either way, the drone had already reset, but look at the scoreboard. This is important we bring this up. Look where Slasher is currently, Matt. What's going wrong for him so far?
Yeah, he's had tough 2 respawns. He did not get off to the greatest of start in the hard point. He brings it back to like a respectable score, but so far here, 3 and 8. Talked about it though. John, Apathy, and Cap have really stepped up today in the respawns.
yeah, and you wouldn't, if you look at the scoreboard, you don't think it's Formal dominated. I mean, he's only 7 and 10 right now. You wouldn't think that it's like Karma and Krim and Scump kind of getting into the back line because none of them are exactly going off outside of Karma. Interesting. See thus far the struggles from Slasher, but we'll see if he can pick it up over the course of this game.
Nice throw.
5-2 lead, about to be 6-2. No, just falls a tad short.
I thought he had that high enough. Looked like too much of an arch, actually now. OpTic, they've already pushed so far up, so as long as Scump's able to get this flank, nice job. He kills John, which now gives the rest of the team the momentum they need to push forward. Slasher with some beautiful shots, gets all 3. And that's a 1-man defense from Slasher to stop this OpTic gaming play.
It's funny, you just call him out for maybe starting a little bit slow.
And then he does that.
Yeah, he's going to close out the half strong. Maybe another 1-point opportunity for Envy if they can find some intros. JCap able to take out Krem 6. Now they're playing behind this. About to be 10 seconds now on the clock. Apathy leading the way. Scump trying to hold on defense, but Apathy should have a chance for a 1-point toss. Gets it out in time, just a little bit short. So 2 1-point misses from Envy, a 3-point lead, and I think both those 1-point tosses were tough.
They were tough.
Yeah.
They were tough throws. They were just a little bit short. Don't think either of them got the distance they wanted in regards to their movement. But in that half, I mean, all things considered, outside of that first 45 seconds, I think it's a very even side.
Yeah, it definitely is. OpTic got some decent opportunities to put some offense up, but it was, guys like Slasher, with that 3-piece on the defensive end there, was able to stop any scores going in for OG. The opening break here is huge for OpTic. The opening break in the last one, Envy was able to get, a dunk out of it. Let's see how OpTic plays it this time.
Again, they're just going to push forward. Karma gets caught sprinting towards Statue, and everyone's there from Envy. Thankfully, they've got Formal to do
My God.
exactly what Slasher did earlier, picking up 3.
Well, Slasher, we'll get a couple here, but Formal's 3-piece at top ticket. Is it up to slow down the early aggression from Team EnVyUs?
Oh my gosh.
Slasher snapping still as he's holding one of these power positions on the map. That duel between him and Formal. Slasher from this position, Formal in that top ticket. We're going to see throughout a lot of this. It's actually Krim 6 that picks him off, though.
Envy just grabbing the drone, moving it as far from OpTic as possible to buy themselves time to come off spawn. I love this decision. Thankfully, Formal still watching over. He's started to heat up now as he's brought things back to even.
Karma wins one just outside a lobby. It's going to be a 3-on-3 as they push back Cat Statue. Nice shots from Karma yet again. Another one in the back. It's Slasher that gets the better of him, but Krim there to trade it out. Scoring opportunity for OpTic Gaming. FTL available for Formal. He tries to pass it forward. Do you just go for the 1-pointer there?
Yeah, I think you got to go for 1. I mean, kind of generally how much time you have in that situation.
Yep.
You knew players were coming off spawn for Envy. You knew they were going to be back towards their base. You settle for the 1-point play there.
We talk about how this is one of OpTic's better maps. Envy are just shutting them down right now with the kills they're getting. I think Envy are being outslayed by a couple so far, and you would have no idea with Envy being up by 3.
Oh, Scump Almost picks up 3 mid-streak. Karma's still there, though. Slasher, the last man to hold it. Cherry Blossom, and he'll get cut down. You've got 3 people surging forward from OpTic. 3 now coming off a spawn for Team EnVyUs. Formal manual pass indoors as him and Scump connect there to take out JCap.
It's just been Envy on the defensive end, time after time. You talk to Jack about Envy getting outslayed in a game like this, but all the kills are coming on the defensive side of things. They figured out a way at the beginning of these games. They put some points on the board, and now all they have to do is hold serve on defense. And every time OpTic goes on a push, you see 2 kills from John, a kill from Apathy. Wow. They're just able to shut it down.
Apathy just melted Scump with the hip fire right there. Slasher now with the drone. He's got John with him as well. This should be at least a 1. Nope, it's going to be a dunk. Envy have taken full command of this map now with their largest lead of the game.
And John's still here doing damage. In top ticket, finally he will get cut down, and now maybe a sigh of relief as OpTic can reset and try to get something going here offensively. They've had only really, 2 attacks throughout this entire game.
They've just gotten so stalled out. You can see time after time when they go on the attack, they throw the drone down, and they're trying to slay, and they just get nothing to go in their favor.
Yep. They haven't had a moment yet where they've been able to just swing it, where they've just gotten that 2 or 3 piece to give them all the map positioning they want. And because of it, now Envy can be, I love this from Envy. They're grabbing the drone, they're moving it towards this bottom side of your minimap, bringing it right towards Cherry Blossom and Gas. If they can bring it into back alley, it'll take at least 25 seconds to even have a chance for OpTic to score.
Well, Prim we saw was really close to overdrive. Karma should pick up camo if he gets a couple more kills. He just got a 2-piece there. You're going to have to do some just phenomenal plays down the stretch. We've been talking about the punch factor of OpTic Gaming throughout this tournament. I don't know that Envy's going to even give them a chance, though.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't mind if you're OpTic, if you're in a spot where you're down by 1, camo can be the difference in this game, but you may get camo, and a lot like when we saw Slasher on Frost Uplink earlier in the weekend, he couldn't get back towards mid-map.
Oh, no.
Camo. You see right there.
Did it hit off a wall?
Yeah,
I believe so, yeah.
Just hit the edge of the building.
No
Not going to go
again.
for 1, 60 seconds, 6-point lead for Envy.
Envy are doing such a solid job of playing base defense, man. They've got their timings figured out. Again, no reason to try to force a drone through statue. Bring it back towards this Gas side. John, when you need it most. Our MVP from last year's COD champs, now 28-22.
And this is now a couple respawns you've strung together today where Slasher didn't have to be that hard carry that he was through day 1 and day 2. When they're all playing like this, you see the damage they can inflict.
All right, OpTic need every kill right now. Simple as that.
They get it.
30 seconds left. Look at Scump. He's already set up in lobby. There's the first dunk. You have camo available for Karma. You've got everything available. Scump gets taken out, though.
That's huge.
They can pinch, though. They're starting to collapse in.
Who didn't peek in? Karma gets the kill. Overdrive time. They're gonna run it back through construction. There's no time. There's no time. Only 13 seconds left. It's a great effort. It's gonna be too little, too late though. Envy will live to see another map in this first best of 5.
You give them 30 more seconds, maybe a chance.
Yeah, but they really do a fantastic job on defense. Gotta commend Envy there. 2-1. OpTic Gaming not getting that quick sweep.
Matt, you asked about the odds of a reverse sweep. Now maybe a little energy, a little bit of momentum for this Envy side. Maybe they can push this to a map 5. We know S&D has been their specialty throughout this weekend.
Well, the one map, the reason I thought the reverse sweep would be so rare is I did not expect Envy to win that map. I expected that to be one that OpTic's been very strong on throughout Infinite Warfare. But you look, game 1, Envy had that. They were up by, 50, 60 points there, and OpTic makes a tremendous comeback. They played it perfectly. But now going into a hard point where Envy's been pretty good on, you got John, Apathy, and JCap playing pretty good.
Yep.
It's going to be a scary game 4.
And you need to keep in mind, again, we can't stress this enough. Envy just need to win 1 best of 5 in this grand finals. OpTic Gaming need to win 2 if you're just tuning into competitive Call of Duty for the first time. This is because of that double elimination bracket setup. Envy have yet to lose a series this weekend. OpTic lost earlier, meaning yesterday to United. Now they made their losers bracket run to get into this grand final. But because of that, 2 best of 5s needed. So even if Envy lose this next map, we will reverse the bracket, go to another best of 5 to see who can wind up taking that one home and become champion.
And I know you said I don't think running out of energy should be an issue for OpTic Gaming because this isn't an open tournament. You don't play as many matches, but you got to think that last series had to take a lot out of them. You saw them on the main stage screaming at Clay and the crew, how hyped up they were. It goes the distance. That had to sap them a little bit. I just think you would have loved to have the 3-0 there, reset the bracket, just hop in, take a deep breath, and get going again.
If everything goes their way, they play 4 matches today. And think about when they have to go through a loser bracket run at like an open tournament. Yeah, it could be like 6 or 7 games. You know, all those games have the intensity of the last series they just had, so I don't really buy that too much.
And you saw there the trophy on the main stage, not the only trophy that'll be given out today. Also, the MVP. Later on, be sure to share your thoughts on who you think it should be. I think our front-runner leader right now would probably be Slasher if Envy win.
Yeah, I mean, usually I hate giving the MVP to a team that loses, but I think this is one case where you would have to consider Slasher, regardless of the outcome of this series, as an MVP candidate.
Yeah, I know we were talking about that in the green room. It was kind of mixed amongst the talent. I'm usually of the opinion, if you're going to be an MVP, you got to win the event. But
I am
Slasher, like, dude, game 1 and 2 was just so... When you saw the stats from yesterday, what, Cap at a .75, the other 2 players, John and App, around like a .85, and then him at, what, a 133? Coming out of day 2, that's just absurd. I mean, you saw Eggs and other pro players tweeting about how you've just never really seen anything like that. It was so much of an anomaly to see a team in a winner's bracket final with those being their team statistics. I think overall they were a .93, under a 1 as a team in a game that is so slay heavy, where 90% of your respawns are 1 if you outslay the other team. I think it's truly a special weekend for Slasher, for sure.
One of the better individual performances for sure that we've seen so far in Infinite Warfare, matching that maybe of 0 from Stage 1 playoffs, you know, Octane from something like an Anaheim.
It's up there.
Even Classic had a hell of a weekend, but unfortunately, for the side of OpTic Gaming, they still have work to do in this series. They're going to hardpoint on Scorch now. They don't want to go to a Game 5 versus NBA, because at that point now you're actually beginning to say, like, this is taking a lot out of them. They get, obviously, that Game 5. They start today facing LG. Then they go up against E-United, which is just another insane series. Now they're versus Envy. If they go to a Game 5 here, if they win it, now you're in 4 series against 3 of your biggest rivals, 2 of them being Game 5s. That does take a toll.
You just got to put them down when you have the advantage.
Right.
Like, we've seen it a lot from, you know, I know not just OpTic, but a lot of teams. You know, they get up 2-0 and then they kind of lose the uplink game. It's close, a hard point. They kind of like lackadaisically go through it, and then you find yourself in a Game 5. It's like when you have an opponent, you know, down 0-2. Like, you just got to end them there. Like, especially when you go to one of your better games. It's just when you let these teams just kind of linger and just hang around in these series, that's when you see the craziness happen.
All right, here we go. On board with John. Nades out as they're trying to back up OpTic Gaming. They're going to have to wait for them to push on through. Trying to snap back towards tunnel, but it's Karma with the flank. And, you know, I've talked about this with multiple teams, that you rarely ever see that full push through and flank, but Karma was talking about it. He's like, I did it in scrims a couple times, actually ended up getting 3 kills. There you go. Pushes all the way and wraps in from behind.
Why would you ever expect that? It's like not the spawn you want, not the route you typically want to take. You normally want to have people with guns ready near this middle hard point. Karma, it's Karma things, just Karma things, man. It happens all the time, it seems. OG, while they do get an early lead, looks like Envy will take it over in just a few brief moments. It's OpTic set up for the Turbine Hill.
Yeah, Turbine's so important to hold down. You're not going to see OpTic come back towards that mid-map, but where it gets dangerous is if you lose some of these kills towards the end of this hardpoint time, that's going to spawn you out. Then that's when OG could get in trouble.
Well, let's see if Envy is able to break through. You've still got 2 men on defense for OpTic Gaming, 2 pushing. Karma's gonna be the lone guy. There's gonna be a collapse coming through. Can he go clutch for the team? The slide, the melee does not connect, and Envy is busted through very quickly in the opening 10 seconds there at Turbine.
And you saw Karma's goal was to at least try to isolate one player, get a kill, try to stay alive inside Warehouse. Unfortunately, everyone from the boys in blue ready to go. Full now on the retake, gets 2 kills. OpTic Gaming hitting that catwalk. They've got a pinch 2 from Scump. He gets the entry. J-Cap not gonna work. OpTic Gaming break on through as they're gonna try to keep this game close.
Back and forth at Turbine. Scump now up to 3 kills in a row, close to earning the Scarab.
There was once a point in Infinite Warfare where Scump refused to use the E-Rat.
Yeah,
that's just kind of crazy.
Vegas, and even probably, what, a month or 2 after that, I think.
Yep.
Scump still hunting. See if he can extend this streak out even more. Formal heating up as well. Scump somehow survives 1 shot as he's getting flanked. I think Karma picks up the player that was pushing him. And now, can they break through?
And look at where John spawns, number 4 on the mini-map. OpTic picks up some kills all the way in the back. They spawn John out. Apathy, though, goes huge for Envy. Picks up 2 kills inside of the hard point. Him and Slasher just hang on long enough. Should be able to hold this down.
Karma's still here. I mean, he's still got bodies with him. I think they should be able to break on through. But that took way longer than I thought. Yeah. OpTic had the perfect pinch with a 4v3 number advantage, but because Apathy's 2-piece happened, he was able to stay alive just long enough to maybe have a second chance for Envy to hold, but In the end, it's OpTic Gaming overwhelming. Scump watching middle with the help of Karma. They now take the lead.
And you're just getting a little bit staggered here if you're EnVy. It was kind of a two-man hit. They drop, two more fly in and fall. You're not going to get another chance at this. You're going to need to set up for the next hard point as Slasher is trying to get in position on the cutoffs here as OpTic Gaming rotate out of hangar. A lot of pressure on him to go big as two players going to be pushing through rocks. I believe that's going to be Karma and Formal.
Slasher here now with the K-bar. Scarab now out. Don't know if it'll scout him on this high wall run. Now OpTic Gaming are here. They're going to try to just muscle right through this one side. Typically, there's some sort of pinch middle map, and you can see John's expecting it, but now he'll get a call out. No, they're all here. Come help, please. J-Cap can't get the three-piece. It's a 2 versus 1.
It's going to be John here to deal with it. Can he come up clutch? I think a teammate might have come in over the back from one of his spawners. John, though, the slide, he connects. No one really able to get a great hold here.
Nice shots.
OpTic Gaming now in the lead, which will disappear in just a matter of seconds.
And be able to break on in. Some nice long-range shots from Slasher, and then just pushes straight on through. I think, you know, in this hill especially, you get control of drill in this type of situation. You get there first, you push on through, you let that next person come in, take control of the hard point.
Slasher had a quieter start to this map, began to turn it up right there on that hard point. Either way, I mean, if you start to get a little bit more help from Apathy, I'd say, Matt, EnVy can begin to kind of pull away in this map.
Yeah, I mean, there are only a few kills, maybe 1 or 2 to go in their way over by hangar from holding that hill as well. So really good first half from EnVyUs.
Let's see what Scump, though, of OpTic can do here. He gets one before he is taken out. Inside a bridge and collecting time is going to be Formal. I believe he was second behind Silly coming into day 3 when you talk about overall hardpoint time. But Apathy and Slasher, they clear the way. Slasher with 3 fantastic plays out of him, and Apathy just clear out everything. And now another lead change, 116, 115 in.
Bodies are still flying towards this hard point. Prim and Scump, both with a couple kills apiece. This time around, though, EnVy will be the first team at Turbine. We saw last time they broke it pretty easily on the side of EnVyUs. This time they will be set up. What can OpTic Gaming do? They like to favor pushing in towards Warehouse. And yeah, you'll see everyone from OG now trying to stack this. They're much bigger fans of hitting this and going from that catwalk side.
Formal gets 2 huge ones to try and break in. Apathy, though, 2. Not a third. Scump gets it. The break is in. And in 5 seconds, they've got it.
Yeah, but they spawn OpTic all the way out.
True.
So the pinch comes in from EnVy. They get all wiped off the map, but they spawn just close enough that they should be able to get back towards the hill with 40 seconds left on it.
And that break winds up even being easier because John kills Formal at that top warehouse side. Once that happened, Scump has to not only worry about his flank, but the impending push coming from that catwalk side. No gunfight wins there. OpTic get wiped out.
But as Crimsix got that first kill, you had a 4v3 here for a moment. The spawner that popped, that's John for EnVy. He's going to go ahead and rotate to the next hard point as his teammates popping in rocks with him. This should be time for OpTic. They need to clear the last player out, pushing him at the back. They'll enjoy the last 15 seconds. And Formal, he already tried to sprint across there for hangar control, but Slasher got the better of him.
Was it earlier this weekend where OpTic were just lights out on hangar the entire map, where they would just set up here, always seem they were in full control? A lot of it focused down towards that back rock spawn. I think it was now. Yeah, they're starting again to focus more heavily on just pushing through the front door. This has me worried.
It is pretty risky, though, when you don't rotate over towards hangar. You know, usually the team that gets there first, able to complete that hole, take a ton of the time. But it'll be Slasher with 2, Apathy with another. EnVy holding on here. It'll be John getting back in towards the hill as EnVy cleaning up OG. Still a lot of time in this hard point.
We talk about Karma as one of the better players of running over that doorway and surprising people. Slasher actually gets him there. He gets 2 kills and holds on, but OpTic still flooding in the close spawn here, though, for EnVy.
And not even does he do that. OpTic already had 2 players in the hard point that knew that that side was covered. There was only one spot he could have been, and that's hitting that high wall.
No one checked it.
Yeah, but still, somehow they let Slasher get 2 kills. 169 to 152 the score. OpTic wipe out EnVy. They'll get the scrap time at a 30-second lead.
Formal now 19 and 14 with nearly a minute and a half to go in the hard point. On Scump's POV now as he's trying to push back the spawners up. Team EnVyUs able to get a first pick on Slasher to take him out of the mix, at least for a push into the drill hard point. J-Cap and John doing their best to hold on, but now Formal's here. He's gotten 2. The third's inside drill control, and as Crim picks it up, he wraps back into observation deck and 1 bullet away there from gunning Slasher inside.
EnVy, they're rotating early. They're just not able to pick up the kills to hold. They get over to hangar early. They get over to turbine early. Now drill. They're not able to take a ton of time. And We'll see if they can take the last 30 or so seconds here. These are crucial seconds here, Jack, for EnVy to make the comeback.
Here's the thing, is this not reminding you a little bit more of what we saw earlier this weekend from EnVy and Hardpoint? I mean, you've got JCap now at double negative. Yes, he's got a lot of time in the hill, but, you know, Slasher's obviously the one positive. John's trying his best. OpTic a little bit sluggish so far on this map. They're keeping it close, but the worry is, as this game goes on, especially with how OpTic Gaming are beginning to shoot better and better as the map goes on, you've now got 3 of their players positive. If they're just going to be able to run away with this game.
Well, and that's the big thing, because we always talk about, Scup and Formal pretty much consistently leading the way in the slaying department, but when you have Crim and Karma going even, going positive, that's when they can really take over. I mean, I'm actually surprised the game is as close as it is right now, but it's not over yet. It was a come-from-behind victory for OpTic Gaming in Game 1. EnVy looking to do the same to extend this first best of 5.
That top hanger spawn just saved EnVy on that middle hill. There was a pinch coming in. They were about to have players from OpTic flooding from Warehouse. Instead, EnVy keep bodies on it, and I love this setup they have. They've got players set up in hangar, 1 in middle map, 2 pushing towards blue. They're pushing every single spot they want to.
Yeah, they're pushing all the way through. So they're going to get Turbine spawn for the next tilt. 27 seconds left on this center hardpoint. EnVy takes the lead. You will have Slasher with Camo. On the other side of things, you'll have Camo for Karma of OpTic Gaming. But look at that left-hand side of the minimap. JCap needs to go big here, needs to pick up some kills as players push across that bridge.
Once again, I talked about how OpTic love to hit towards that Warehouse side. JCap trying to go big, gets 1, plays his life. The second not going to happen, but look at the time he bought. He slowed down that push for a second, and his teammates flooded in from that observation deck to keep control of the hill.
You're OpTic, you have a 4v3, but just for a moment. It's JCap racing back in. Karma pops the camo behind 1, sees the second at the back box, is trying to get the best angle he can. Karma makes a huge play. Can his teammates now back him up? It's reactive armor from Scup, and he gets melted, but Formal still here holding. Has a gunfight, 1-on-2. It's going to be JCap and company pushing forward. They take him.
And that is huge for EnVy. You invest the active camo and reactive armor there for OpTic Gaming, and you don't get the break. JCap waits for a teammate, then slides in and takes out Formal. It's a huge play from EnVyUs, but OpTic Gaming gets back in towards the hill. Also, pay attention, going that next hangar, Slasher does have camo. They're going to need that ability.
So confused, Slasher just pushed that catwalk. I don't know if anyone caught that, but that's the reason OpTic are able to break.
Well, they break, but they can't win it here. They can get darn close, but like you said, you have one solid hold opportunity for EnVy. If OpTic were to break you here, you have the camo to retake if you're Slasher. Part of me wonders if maybe he used it, just make a play in transition.
So Karma just told his teammates that there's 2 at Rocks. Formal and Crim try to flood the front door, knowing it's a 2-on-2. They get shut down.
Well, I mean, this is a dangerous position from EnVy too, because if Slasher dies, you don't know if you're actually even going to get back towards the hill to get camo. Because
this is going to Game 5.
It probably will. I mean, with the way EnVy is holding this down right now, OpTic leading with the Scarab, this is their best chance.
You've got reactive, you've got camo for EnVy. There's the reactive pop, only gets 1 before dropping. John loses 1, but Slasher now back in with the camo. Crim, though, last man up. Crim kills both! Crim kills both, and he gets the spawn close for Karma. OpTic can still do this. The 240 mark hit, 25 seconds left as Crim has gone massive. Centurion out, and there is 1 more flood here from EnVy. Can OpTic hold on? Formal with a 3-piece! Formal with all 4!
I was so certain that EnVy were going to be able to hold that hill. They have a full setup. OpTic are spawning out. They have reactive and active camo, and somehow lose a 4v4 trade.
Yeah, they use the camo to cut back through that middle of the map safely so Slasher can get up top. Because he doesn't want to come through that back warehouse, because that's where all the other members of EnVy are coming from. And he uses it to get inside. He's able to get 1. And I think the worry there was that with the score the way it was, that if Slasher dies there, spawns all the way out, you have a use of camo that's you probably got like 2 or 3 seconds when you get there to make a play and get inside with it. And you probably don't have any teammates there as well. So very tough position for EnVy.
I'll tell you, that's the one. Crim, I think he was half health. He had it, well, it was a 1v2, but half health for the final gunfight. I want to see that from his POV because he won a monster one. And then on the final push, I believe Formal got another one of those ×4 multi-kills.
Yep.
He's had a couple throughout this weekend. He did it against LG. He does it here for the final hold. We got a second best of 5 coming, pals.
And I think it was a big play by, I forget who it was on OpTic. It may have been Formal, but they contest the last like 15 or 20 seconds over at Turbine. That spawns EnVy all the way out at Hangar, which you're like, oh, well, you just gave them a great spawn. But EnVy takes some more of that time. The game might be over, because then you have the camo to break into Hangar originally.
Wow. All right, well, guys, one series in the books. We got more to come, but to break down that first best of 5, we'll toss it over to Ben on the desk.
Thank you very much, Maven. What a series, and what a grand final this is shaping out to be. Of course, OpTic Gaming come out looking very, very strong. We'll go ahead and break down that first best of 5, and then obviously talk a little bit about the second best of 5 in regards to maps. Obviously, starting with the first hard point. Gonna be honest, I feel like EnVy should have won that one, Joe.
I think both the hard points. EnVy's probably just thinking about, you know, we were this close to honestly winning this entire event. But yeah, it really just started with that, you know, that cell block rotation into the graveyard. Karma, Scump, they're able to 4v2. Scump pops his reactive, and really you could see that cell block kill was really the big factor for OpTic Gaming. And you know, I mean, they were just able to clutch up. I mean, it was like 237 to 166. I'm not exactly sure, but it was a great clutch by OpTic Gaming as a whole.
I mean, you talk about that final hold, Momo. It really was sensational going from Cellblock, of course, into that final hill. OpTic Gaming, just such composure.
OpTic Gaming clutching up once again, you know, kind of coming down to those, you know, last second moments, those kills that really count. And it gets to that moment where it's like, we're all looking at each other and thinking, this wave of kills determines the game.
Right.
And that kill feed, green, 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 green. You know, whether it's, you know, I think it was Karma picking up 2 and Scump or whoever it was. But just OpTic Gaming, again, just kind of finalizing, closing games, whether it's S&D, doesn't matter the mode. And arguably, yes, I agree with you. EnVy potentially should have closed that out.
Right.
But again, you kind of got to give credit where credit's due. OpTic Gaming clutching up. Slasher, again, having a monster game, but just not enough.
And then, of course, moving over to the Search and Destroy. OpTic Gaming, again, continue with the common theme of today, which is their first Bloods team. It was just a sensational map from them all around.
Just huge map control overall. John was very effective with the sniper again, but I really want to touch on Crim and the amount of time he's getting behind enemy lines. I don't think that we can call it Zuma flanks anymore. It's Crim flanks, at least at this tournament. The fact that he's able to make such crazy sort of plays, I think the one round where he's able to get multiple kills at that back bridge side, making Apathy kind of look like a fool at times when he's dealing with that flank. Crim been so good on those late flanks lately.
Of course, OpTic Gaming go up 2-0 with the win here, 6-4 on map 2. And I don't want to say Slasher played bad, Merc, but well, you almost want to say like it was one of those maps, one of the first really in the tournament where he didn't have like one of those explosive Slasher games.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to continue and be consistent at the performance that he was at. What, a 1.3? That's obviously very, very difficult to deal with. And, you know, this last round right here, that was pretty big. A Slasher did invest camo, Scump pops reactive at a perfect time. But yeah, I mean, there's going to be times when you're a star player, you know, he doesn't put up those consistent numbers.
Again, it's not like he played bad. He obviously goes 8-8, but when
that's
you're
when
watching him go like 12-3 throughout the weekend.
That's when you have to look at somebody else to step up. Look, there's Slasher. Where are those other guys? And RC's is at number 10 with a 1.1. There's nobody even near Slasher right now. So again, someone else on EnVy has to step up and go huge. And even in that first game, JCap actually played really well, but they didn't carry that over to the Search and Destroy.
Then, of course, we move over to the uplink game 3, and this is where EnVy held on in the series. They go up 4-0 early. It's 5-1 at the half, and you talk about players stepping up. In this link, you really had John step up, team.
Oh, most definitely. Just great slaying overall, great drone control. EnVyUs' overall control, map control, and uplink have been so great throughout the tournament. And OpTic had some uncharacteristic plays, missing some ones, albeit pretty tough at times. But I feel like there's situations where OpTic, you really expect them to take over and expect them to at least get a 1. They make sort of a bad play, the wrong decision. They don't go for a 1. There are several times where Formal tried to hit like this weird slide throw, or actually I think he went for a pass, and then another player tried to hit this weird 1. Just didn't really pan out for him. Yeah, and the same as Slasher, same with Formal here. You know, he has 19 kills. He just has an off map, and EnVy is able to sort of take this one. Again, if map 1 doesn't, you know, if OpTic's not able to clutch up, I mean, EnVy's 2-1 in the series now with that uplink win. Again, it just seems like OpTic Gaming, the respawns still aren't there yet, and you can see that their Search and Destroy has really just been their safe haven all year long.
I think as well, you know, in that uplink, it technically could have been worse. EnVy missing a couple of one-point plays. Interesting, though, when you kind of see the last 30 seconds, OpTic Gaming, people are looking at that scoreboard and seeing that they've got 3-4 payloads with 30 seconds to go. And I'm not necessarily saying they played bad. They just couldn't get in that position to use the camo, to use the overdrive reactive or whatever it was. Because EnVy, I felt they did play that game of keep away very well. They kind of kept throwing it towards gas station. They just kind of kept it away from OpTic, and they couldn't get to that final kind of quarter of the map where they go, now I pop camo, now I pop overdrive, and they forced it to use it early. Good play from EnVy overall.
Definitely could have been scary towards the end, that's for sure. But as you said, EnVy do a good job. They hold on and they win map 3. Then we go over to map 4, the hard point. And I'm going to be honest, deja vu. Complete deja vu, really. I mean, EnVy put themselves in such a good position. They make sure that they're, you know, sometimes in the lead in the map, of course, sometimes trailing, but always in contention to win it. Final score 250 to 238. A 2-point difference between this and map number 1, Teep. And when you consider the fact that they had reactive and camo for the closing moments, I feel like you have to say they threw it away.
100%. And we talked about the duo that did it on the first hard point. It was the other duo that really closed out the hanger there at the end. But the part I want to talk about from EnVy is the last drill and the last middle hill. There are several times where they would get a 4 dead, and then all of a sudden they would over-challenge, push out, and not able to lock down the huge chunks of 15 to 20 seconds of scrap time.
Right.
I get it. The rotations are very, very important, but if you are able to lock down that free 30, 40 seconds of time, it doesn't go down to the wire like that. You have more pushes to work with, so it's tough to make those calls. It's a hindsight is 50-50, so I understand the place.
That right there, Crimson, that, you know, 3 kills he gets right there. Slasher, I think he preemptively popped the camo. I don't think it was necessary, because if he has it there at the end, well, they might have the break. And it's the same on the other side. OpTic Gaming, to break Turbine, they invest in reactive and camo. Why not make 2 separate pushes with it? I just think it's an overinvestment in those payloads when we've seen how important they can be. OpTic's very lucky again that they were able to clutch up from clutch plays from Kerman Formal.
I think it was an unfortunate reactive armor use of well from Apathy. He sees 2 coming down the hall. He's probably in his head, oh boy, this is where I close it. Reactive armor pops. Little does he know he actually gets shot by 3 members of OpTic. He only picks up 1 with a reactive. If he picked up that second before being taken down, I think it could have been a whole new game. Krim would have been, instead of having to clutch like a 1 against 2, it would have been 1-3. I feel like, again, EnVy going into that, I was like, we're going to game 5. They've got reactive, they've got camo, they've got the spawns. Slasher was doing fantastic holding those spawns, just kind of sneaking around in those corners. But no, OpTic clutch up once again.
I mean, you think about both of those hard points. Very well could have been series over if EnVy keep a little bit of composure there. Obviously, the final moments of the game, you got to give credit there to them, of course, clutching up and doing what they do. They will, of course, reset the bracket, which means we have a second best of 5. And, of course, following the second best of 5 and the conclusion of our grand final, we'll have our live draw for the Call of Duty World Championship groups. Excited to see who lands up where on that show. But we'll now take a look at our map set for the second best of 5. And I'm curious to get your guys' prediction. Obviously, it felt maybe as if the maps were, I don't want to say more suited towards EnVy in the first best of 5. Curious to see if maybe that's still the case when you look at the second best of 5 team.
Wow, this is, I think, pretty heavily towards OpTic at this point in time. They just clutched up on back-to-back hard points. Huge plays going on from them. That's a huge momentum shift. Well, we've seen OpTic win on Crusher lots of times throughout this year and really able to go clutch. And then Frost Link, man, I might be leaning an OpTic 3-0 looking at this map set.
I'm looking at map 2 and 3, and OpTic is written all over that. We just saw what OpTic did to E United on Frost Up Link. Crusher S&D, we all know how strong they are. They come out hot on map number 1. I think they could close this 3 out, and I think that's very harsh on EnVy, but it is just that map set that I see. And if EnVy do push it to the distance, I have been impressed with EnVy on throwback S&D, but I don't see it going that way. I'm going to have to say OpTic 3-0.
Joe?
It's been a weird weekend, right? Make it a little bit weird. I mean, throwback hardpoint and Crusher, again, even Frost. If John and Apathy step up and go off, they can take over on these maps. Slasher, we've seen him absolutely destroy on throwback. If someone helps him out, who knows what can happen. That retail hardpoint, that's been one of EnVy's best. If they can get to game number 4, and then throwback search and destroy, that's where we saw, you know, EnVy clutch up against FaZe down 5-2. So to me, it's 2 and 3. If they can get it to the back half, who knows what can happen.
Very agree.
Very true. Well, our first series of the grand final is, of course, now over here at the Stage 2 playoffs. And what a series that was, going to be honest. It's OpTic Gaming that reset our bracket to force a second best of 5. We'll be back after this with that second best of 5 between EnVy and OpTic Gaming. The winner takes home the Stage 2 playoff crown.